So today, lads, we're going to be talking a little bit about this, and we're going to be reacting to a Sports Illustrated article from Grant Young, and it is pretty much talking about whether or not Caitlin Clark's caddy connection should shape the Fever's off-season plans. And look, in my opinion, there are your must keeps, and then there are your other players. For me, the must keeps are Caitlin Clark, duh. Aaliyah, duh. I'm not high on KK Timpson. I'm gonna make a video about that in a little bit. Like, she was really bad. She's been really, really bad overseas. So I'm not in any way high on KK. But you keep KK just because of her contract. But for me, it's like, I would say you need to keep Caitlin, you need to keep Aaliyah, you need to keep Kelsey if possible. Unless Jackie Young says I want to come, but only if Kelsey Mitchell goes, or the only way to get Jackie Young is a core in trade. I wouldn't do that. I would keep Kelsey otherwise. But you want to keep these two. The thing is, I think Sophie's better than Lecie. Just my personal opinion. I like both of them. I think both Sophie Cunningham and Lecie Hull are both really good players. But if you're asking me who I think is the better player, who I think is harder to replace, it's Sophie Cunningham. Like, I think you can find a hustle player more than you can find an all-around glue guy. There's not that many glue guys in the WNBA, which is really weird for some reason. But obviously, it says here, Fever fans are well aware Stargard Caitlin Clark's great relationship with coach Sophie Cunningham and Lecie Hull is made exceedingly apparent over the past year, and even longer the case with Clark and Hull. These three players earned the Trey Leche's nickname during the campaign because they always seemed to be at each other's side, giggling and laughing together whenever they got the opportunity. And while they didn't get the show, and this connection turned into camaraderie in the basketball court much because Clark missed much of the season with injuries, fans got a glimpse of how much fun these three could have together. This is proven on November the 12th when Hull and Cunningham worked as Caitlin Clark's caddies. However, this trio seemed to spend more time teasing and ribbing each other about their respective golf exploits than they did in helping Caitlin Clark's handicap. One example is Hull posting a TikTok of Clark shanking a shot with the iconic Masters introduction movie music overlay on top of it. Caption: "The Masters next at Caitlin at Sophie. I can caddy. The next one you video, the one time you video me, you can't make it up. The one time Caitlin could be heard saying in the video." So yeah, like, look. And by the way, I don't understand how Sophie Cunningham hit the ball this badly. Like, this is a good looking stroke. This is a decent looking stroke here. And she hits the ball maybe 20 yards and hits someone in the face about 25 yards away. It looks like it would have gone further than that with a driver. But the Fever should see Clark's caddy chemistry as a sign to re-sign Hull and Cunningham. I think they should do it for basketball reasons. Like, I actually agree with the premise of this. I absolutely agree with the premise that the Indiana Fever need to re-sign Sophie Cunningham and Lecie Hull. Like, they can afford to re-sign Sophie, Lecie, keep Caitlin, keep Aaliyah and Kelsey, and bring in a power forward. They can afford to resign. Like, they can afford to run it back. But for me, the players that I don't want them to run it back with are, I don't want to see Natasha Howard as a starter. I'm okay with Natasha Howard off the bench. That's just my opinion. I'm okay with Howard off the bench. I don't love Howard off the bench, but I'm okay with it. I'm absolutely okay with it. It is like, it's one of those things where it's like she's got to want major money, and the problem is like, you got Sophie Cunningham on a bargain deal, you had Lecie on a rookie contract. You can't afford, if you want to get a real power forward, you can't afford to give Howard max money. At the same time, you absolutely can afford Natasha Howard as a bench player. And if Lecie, Sophie, and Natasha, let's just say they take the three of them combined, take 3/4 of the max. And it's one of those things with Lecie Hull and Sophie Cunningham is, if the max is 200k, they'll probably take half a max at 100k. Like, they probably would. Genuinely. Like, I think we can all say it, they probably would take a 100k cut. The problem is taking half a max now might be taking a $500,000 cut. Which is obviously huge. Which is obviously a big one. Like, the cut is just too big. But when it comes to Lecie, I think they have her restricted. She's not a reserve free agent, which means she can negotiate with other teams. I don't. Look, the problem is like a Chicago Sky might say like, look, culture wise, we want this hustle player in Lexie Hull. She's gonna work her ass off, bring her in. So it's a tough one there. It's a really, really tough one there when it comes to Lexie, because you don't necessarily want to overpay. And I think the Indiana Fever should give them all 1 year. When they're like, oh, the Indiana Fever, if they overpay a role player, and I'm like, there's a difference. The way the WNBA contracts work, you can overpay a role player. Like the Oklahoma City Thunder are overpaying role players right now because a lot of their players are on rookie deals. Like they're able to overpay rookie role players, but then in 2 years' time, they're not going to be able to get Hartenstein. But that's when you replace younger players. So that's basically what you have to do is you get the younger players, you have your younger players, and you maybe overpay vets. And then when the younger players become the vets and they're on high contracts, you bring in younger players on cheap contracts. But obviously, perfect example of the chemistry they have. Even just for 1 more year, women's basketball deserves to see what those 3 friends have. I think basketball-wise, they're perfect. Like, I think, look, you bring back Christy Wallace. I think they don't need any more guard depth. Like, if you can get Jackie Young, you get Jackie Young. You can slide. I think there's lineups you can run and be creative where you can slide Sophie to the 4. Lexie has to be able to play the 2 a little bit more. But, like, I think there's lineups you can run. If your guard depth is, I think you can have, for your wing depth, Kelsey. I think Kelsey could be backup point guard when Caitlin's on the bench, by the way. I don't think you need to really sign a out-and-out backup point guard who wants to play big minutes. Like, I'm cool with Colson. I'm genuinely cool with Colson. So that's one of the things that I'd be saying. Like, I'd be absolutely fine with Sid Colson coming back. If she's healthy, that is. I don't want to see Ari. I don't want to see Odyssey, because as good as they were, I was just your turn, my turn with Kelsey. Like, they were not good. Like, Ari was fine at the 2 beside Caitlin Clark, but Ari never gave the ball to Caitlin Clark because Ari, like Caitlin Clark, only passes the ball to the bigs. Like, she only passed the ball to the bigs. It's like Erica Wheeler. Erica Wheeler's fantastic. She was not fantastic with Caitlin. And that's the thing is, like, when you have players that fit with Caitlin in a Lexie, in a Sophie, it becomes really important to keep them. I think for basketball reasons, it would be crazy. Like, I get it. We're talking about off the court things, but I couldn't care less. Like, I'm not out here rushing to bring in Kate Martin or anything. I'm not rushing to get Gabby Marshall out of retirement. We've talked about Monica Zanano at times, but I'm like, I don't know how I feel about Zanano. I think Monica Zanano would have, like, if she had to come out in the same year as Caitlin, I think there's a good chance, you just bring her beside Caitlin just to see if the law firm were able to link at the WNBA level like they did in college, because there's always a chance of that. But I think she was kind of too far gone by then. But yeah, look, don't hate trying to bring them back. I think it's the right idea, but I just don't quite know. I just don't quite know if the main reason to bring them back is because they're friends. I think the main reason to bring them back is because they're good basketball players. They all do different things. And I think that Sophie, when it's all said and done, Sophie Cunningham is going to be the glue. She's going to be the glue that keeps the team together. Like, you need glue guys. And the WNBA has a severe lack of glue guys. Sophie Cunningham's a glue guy. And, like, I'm okay with Sophie starting, Lexie off the bench, or even, look, Lexie start, Sophie off the bench, and Sophie play as the quote-unquote sixth starter like she did in Phoenix. Doesn't matter who's injured. Like, if the point guard's injured, you're starting. If the center's injured, you're starting. We're adjusting something. Play her as, like, the sixth starter, where no matter what happens she's the first sub in at whatever position it is, at that versatile player. And then you have, like, whatever the backup point guard is. I love to bring in E-Will as a center. And I think Christy Wallace is fine. I think 10 minutes a game of Christy Wallace is fine. She's a good 3-point shooter and she's a passable defender. It's just when Christy Wallace was starting and Lexie was getting DMPs was the problem. I'm fine with 10 minutes a game of Christy Wallace. But anyway, yeah. That's the video. I'll see you guys.